And hole right here. It's almost a hole. Definitely a hole right there. How am I going to fix that? I don't know how solid it is. Yeah, that's going to be very holy. Oh. Hey, how you guys doing? Welcome back. It's Automotive. We're going to fix the final bit of rust on this whole entire vehicle. It's right here. So far, it's been pretty tough. The car's moving on me. This is going to be pretty tough. Once we get through this, there's no rust in the car anywhere. Well, mostly. Got the wrong parts. Everything should work out fine. So we'll see what we can come up with. We're just going to use what we got because that's what we do around here. You know, hey, welcome back. Let's get busy. We got stuff to do. Come on, let's go. It'll be fine. Probably not. Probably a disaster. So here's what we're dealing with, right? You'd think, well, that's not so bad. You know, same thing as the front cowl. I do have a part that is obviously not the correct one. No, that's for a hardtop. Looks the same, right? Nah, it's not. This is bigger. That's shorter. This is shorter. That's way bigger. And the understructure and all that, we just want to get this part fixed. I don't care about this. Is you never see this, right? Got some holes here, but I mean, that's a flat piece of, who cares? You're never going to see it. Do have some, see this black stuff? I'm going to show you what that is later on. It's, it works pretty good. Then you got a little hole there to fix. There's some, you know, I'll show you here in a minute. Let me get all this out of the way. Get the deck lid off because we're not using this one anyway. It's going to go out back in the junk pile because I've got a better one over there. That's a 55 or a 56. I'll show you how you can tell. That one doesn't have that. It has all that, not that. Okay, let me get this apart. Well, this deck lid, trunk lid, boot lid, on the outside looks pretty good, but it's all rotted out all through there. Get down there, there's some rot all in here. So we're to use this one for a snow sled, something. I could give it to somebody if they could use it, if they wanted to fix it. Got a super good deal on that. I gave $300 for that and a whole bunch of other stuff. So it was a really good deal as far as that goes, right? I wish I could find a deal like that on doors. Probably not. Anyhow, to avoid the windshield snafu that I had in the front, I'll put the video up here somewhere. It wasn't going to fit, so I had to fix it. We're not doing that here. I do have the new little strippy here that goes right there. So I've worked a little bit already trying to get it shaped more like the original. So I still need to do a little bit, right? So we'll definitely use that once I get it into shape, but I also want to take very good measurements, right? And we'll mark it here or mark it here where I'm not replacing and put, you know, put a line and how many inches it is from there to there, 3 or 4 different places, just that when I go to cutting out and putting new stuff in, it'll be in the same place generally. So let me do that. That's probably the first thing. Okay, so got my measurements. One right there, there. Everything's marked, or hopefully I don't ruin my marks and I know where to measure from. Give me reference to where this needs to be, or it is now. Whatever. You can tell this is just pretty rough. And what this black stuff is, and I've showed you that Permatex stuff that Rick, old buddy Rick, sent me. I had some of this for a long time, and I've used it before. It's the jelly. It's real thick, gooey, basically the same thing. It's just thicker. I can put it on there, and it's been on there for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. And you can see all the rust. The rust has turned black, right? And let me show you over here right quick. So right there, that's rust. That's all rust. And I just wanted to see what it would do. You know, most of this is going to get fixed anyhow. There's holes right here I need to fix. And I thought it was because of the lead, but the lead is actually right here, right where this seam is. There's lead. So I don't know. The time I go sanding, I think there's a place puckered up somewhere. Right here. There's a little high spot. What that is that's lead's come loose. It's probably got rust underneath it and it's pushing it up. So I probably need to take that lead out and then we can find some more trouble. Anyhow, I'm not so sure that this curvature is the same as this curvature. This is for a hardtop. Again, it's different. It might be the same. I assume that it's not. So I don't know if we're gonna just use patch pieces out of this or patch pieces out of this. This is from the 2-door car that I cut up to make the 2-door, 4-door conversion, whatever. And it's slightly better, but there's places where it's lifting and it's pretty rough. It's not gonna be, you know, but just to show you what's under that one in there is all this structure underneath, right? So what I'm trying to avoid is cutting all this out, because then your trunk's attached to it, your trunk hinges and the springs, and it's just not something I want to get into. I'd like to just be able to patchy poo like right through here, right? Down here is spot welds to that. So I really don't even want to get in there. I don't know. I'd rather weld right in here, which when this is off, you can get to that pretty easy. You never really see it, you know. Then of course we can patch this up if we want to, whatever. We can, you know, basically make this a patch panel that'll fit in there if I wanted to, right? I just don't think it's going to be one section. So I believe the best thing to do for now, this is spot welded all the way down on top of this. So let's go ahead and get that off, kind of see what we're dealing with, see how bad it is, and then form a destructive plan.
Yeah, we're back.
So what I did here was just to cut a piece of 1x2. Hopefully it's a little bowie, so hopefully it's strong enough. Took a big crescent wrench, pulled the hinges down, stuck it into one side, pulled down the other side, stuck it in there, keep them out of my way. You can take the torsion bars loose. I did that on my Cadillac. And then, you know, 2 years later, I'm like, how did these go? It took me forever to figure it out. So we'll just do this. But pretty bad. That was just a big hole right there. Now, if I'd have just, you know, Duraglassed it up best I could and rust treated it, that's still going to be there. So, kind of part of the deal. Get the vacuum all this out, and it's just, you know, it's really from here to here, right through there. I'd like to replace that with one piece. So I'm not so sure that this one piece would be the same, if you know what I'm saying. Man, I was kind of hoping that I wouldn't cut that up and I could sell this thing, and this was like $230 for, it's got all the bracing and everything. It's actually a pretty good deal for what it was, when this little one with no bracing was $490 bucks, almost $500 for that, less than $300 for this big thing. So yeah, I'd assume trade it for something that I needed, but just not real sure. Not too sure. Of course, here's going to be our lead joint right through here, right? What I'd like to do is to really attach it just right down here, right above those spot welds down through here, right above here. Weld it this way, and then right here. But I don't know that this is the same. Bad thing is I might have to cut this out, what I think to be the patch, then match it up with that. I don't know. Let me do some thinking. Come up with a plan. But we got holes. Yeah, it's a good thing we did this, I guess. No fun, but got to get it done. Well, went on and did it. No turning back now. Excuse me. Sound like Dan from DD Speed Shop. Anyway. Yep, is what it is now. I'll have to mess around with this and see, you know, I think that I'll have to go quite a bit smaller, obviously, because this shape down here is different than this shape. Now it could be because of the way the panel's made, may not be a hardtop sedan difference. This is made for a hardtop or a sedan. It says right there on the sticker. So I'm thinking this area should be the same in general-ish, but the way these aftermarket panels are made, the depth and the angle and everything is going to be different anyhow. So, but I've got to make it match up from here to here. Let me do some thinking. And I did cut it bigger than I thought I needed, which I really don't want to come. I don't know if I want to come back here or not, all the way this far. I'd kind of like to in a way, just because the welding against this sharp angle will help keep warpage down, but it's a Bondo buggy anyway. I guess it don't really matter, but let me see what I want to do. Say bye-bye, at least till springtime. Made some ramps. Before I used to crank the front of it up, put some wood and just, you know, four-wheel drive it, but made some ramps. They're a little taut on the edge there, but they'll self-clearance. They go in the little doors there, little safety wires here at the bottom, so that way they don't slide forward and all the way out of the tracks. All right, coming to your house, Ralph. Hope you got room. Strap this thing down.
Because I didn't think about it.
Huh?
There you are.
Say hi, Ralph.
Oh, don't start that shit.
Well, I got the lead out. So you see how it's, you know, pretty deep. That's where this flange goes, and I was gonna cut this off, and I thought, well, I'll just weld it, but knowing I was gonna be welding right next to here, which would be okay, except for the lead's in there, and you can't weld the lead. I thought, well, let's go ahead and get it out. And since I did have a bubble, remember me showing you earlier in the video, I was right. It's rusted out there anyhow. So probably what's going to happen, we'll get this piece in best we can. Then I'll have to make a patch that will go, you know, probably over here. Since we have this going on this side anyway, I've still got to fix this, right? But just a little rush through on that side, which, you know, a little bit right there. The lead's, you know, they did it back in the day, but it, you know, moisture gets in between the steel and the lead, well, it's going to rust. So we're not going to re-lead this. We're going to do something different.
If I had a nickel for every pickle that you'd got us and tell, one or two more nickels now than I do. If I had a dime for every time that I'd been cried to by you, I'd have quite a few more dimes now than most folks do.
YouTube don't like beer, Ralph.
What?
Because it's recording.
Well, here, we can get a still out of it now.
Oh yeah. You get all kinds of stills out of it.
Yeah.
You just gotta hit the pause button.
So just make sure they can see it.
Point at the green
Got the
orbs
car
here.
done. Another great job. Junk Box Bikes Automotive. Yay.
Yay! Okay, let's go
Okay,
home.
let's go.
Grand Canyon.
Yeah. Grand Canyon. Look, kids. There's a Grand Canyon of green bean racing machine. Well, you saw that. That was junk. I don't know. We're fixing that. But we're fixing it. So here's what I got. This is where it was rusted out. Now this is the trunk, or the inside of the trunk where it comes up and it's layered 3 times. This is on top of this and this is on top of that. It's all welded together. Well, I'm going to do a patch between here and here because there's nothing here. We'll build a patch, do whatever, how we want to do it. And then what I'll do afterwards is tap, you can see where I've got this cut. Tap those edges up and then weld it to the bottom of this. It's all still gonna be here, so it's not really a structure thing, I don't think, and of course it goes through here. But I think the important thing now, I've started sort of trimming, right? What I wanna do is tack this into place. This after I do the rust stuff and you know, get some clean metal all the way through there. So long as these points right here and right here, they line up and they're on the same level, I'll tack it down through here on each end, kind of see how it goes, right? Then we're gonna do the cut and butt down through here. And hopefully this level, this needs to stay the same right there, right? And we'll get it tacked into place and kind of fell down. Once the cut and butt's done, it's just tacked in place. Then I'll get my piece here, put that in there, and then do our measurements before we get too carried away. That way I can cut it loose and push it up, I'll have a chance of surviving, I guess. Let me get this cleaned up. I want to get that 415. I want to lube up my pins for the wiki. Oh, you guessed it. I still don't have gas. Nope. Ain't gonna have any. I'm gonna have to go spend real money and do a lease thing or... Anyhow, got this in here. Pretty sure it's where it's gonna live. I had a variety of, see right there, the paint sticks, measuring and all that, and I did have it back too far, so I had to cut it and move it forward, so it's a pretty gappy deal right through there, but we can deal with that. And we just got a weld down in here. I did cut the old one off of the parts cowl just so I could put it in here and see if the shape's right, because I couldn't tell with this thing. I actually had to cut a couple of relief cuts so that it would, you know, because right here it actually, you can kind of see the end of it kind of does a little funny thing. Well, it wouldn't do it until I did that. But I used this old original just to look through, down through there and see if this shape was correct, right? So I think it's pretty much, it's tacked in. I just gotta fill in the gaps, point A, point B now. You know, gaps, get it? Okay. I was gonna use this, and I might, but I'm gonna use that to make sure my shape is correct on the new one, which it's probably not gonna be. I just want the windshield to fit, right? Jeez, enough of all this. The back glass, not the windshield.
I killed a snake. I killed a snake. I didn't want to, but he just looked so damn creepy. I killed a snake. I killed a snake. With a puff of air from a gun that shoots pellets and BB. He was hanging out in my tree, and he scared the bejeebers out of me, so I killed a snake. I killed a snake. I know a squirrel. I killed a snake. He used to live in the cage on the back porch of my house. I know a squirrel. I killed a snake. Yeah, we raised him up from when he weren't no bigger than a mouse. One day we set him free. Now he lives up in the tree where I killed the snake. I killed the snake. There ain't too many critters I don't take a liking to, but I think snakes ought to stay put.
My face is dirty? Really? I don't know. It's not possible. Anyhow, got her burned in. Man, that was a lot of welding. Especially down through here. I'm not worried about, as long as it's solid, right? We'll clean that up. That's gonna get 415, and then seam sealer, 415 again. This out here will get Duraglass and bodywork. Right here, made a little patch. It's not quite done yet, but it's just about there. It's got the curvature going on. So it's fitting pretty well. I'm done welding with this rosin core stuff. I just don't like it. But so there's that'll be that, right? So we'll pour 15 here, right? Backside of here, we'll clean that up a little bit more. Weld it on there, and that's how we're going to do it, right? And then of course, you're going to Duraglass everything. This side kind of has a similar situation, right? So we'll build something for that, no biggie. Now this, I've got this shaped pretty well, so it should fit pretty close to right there. But I'll get this cut out, pour 15 down inside there, and another patch right here, like I said. So anyhow, I've had a problem with my shielding gas. I've always got it for the last, 7 or 8 years, I've got it from Tractor Supply. And sometimes you gotta wait and you call them, they go, yeah, we just got some. Then you run over there and get your bottles, right? Well, apparently the 3 stores I've talked to, because I go to all of them trying to find my shielding gas. They're like, yeah, this place we get that stuff from, they stopped bringing us anything. They don't have a regular schedule. I don't know when they're gonna come, because they know me now. They know me pretty well, because I'm there about every day. I'm calling, or especially when I'm doing stuff like this, right? I like gas, wire feed gas, MIG welding. That's what that's for. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to, the money I spent on the little bottle lots of years ago, that's like $250 I think then, and the number 4, the big one, was $400. Then you just take it and exchange it like a propane tank, right? And it's pretty economical. There's 3 or 4 places around here I can go do that at. Well, now they don't get it anymore, and they're gonna, something about quit doing the program because it's not worth it. They can't get the materials. So I've got $600 in bottles that no one else will fill. Nobody else will fill them. So I'll have to go the more expensive way and have to drive farther away during working hours only, and get it, I guess. So this is what it is. I've got to have the gas. I've got to have it. You're gonna do stuff like this. I like gas wire feed welding. So I've got to go to bed because that little green bean racing machine sitting out there is going to Ralph's house tomorrow. So I've got to get up in the morning. I've got to wire up trailer lights because the trailer doesn't have any. Get the car on there, strap it down, load some stuff up, and go to his house. So stick around. I'll show you a little bit of video of that. I don't know if it's very interesting. If it's not, see you later. Peace. Hey, thanks you guys for subscribing, commenting. It always makes my day. The emails, Facebook messages. Hit me on the Facebook, Junks Automotive. It's on there. And you guys dropping stuff in the little tip jar there, and making this thing just seem a little bit better, right? I love doing it anyway, but all right. Thanks for coming back. We'll see you guys soon. Cheers.